So how can the Yankees seal the deal with Yoshinobu Yamamoto? How do we know? Let's talk about it. Happy Thursday, everybody. It is brick cold out. Hope you're staying warm. So how can the Yankees seal the deal with Yoshinobu Yamamoto? He's essentially the big one, the great white shark that's left in free agency. Jaws already signed with the Dodgers, Shohei Ohtani. And then he's the big great white here. And the other Jaws, Juan Soto, was traded to the Yankees. So, and now we have guys like Blake Snell, Cody Bellnger, Jung-Hoo Lee already signed as well with the Giants. And we'll get into all this stuff. But now it kind of looks like after him, it looks like Sharknado. There's no disrespect to the other players, but Jaws are off the market now. He's the big fish. So, and let me make this really clear. I'm going to give you my perspective and my opinion. I'm not here to convince you that mine is the right one. Okay? You're entitled to your opinion, whether it's you disagree or you agree. It's completely up to you. I learn from all of you. Okay? I'm not here to say that my perspective is right or my opinion is right or the only real one. That's baloney. Okay? Again, I learned from all of you. You guys and gals in the comments, content creators. So, and it's important, I think, in my opinion, to take that perspective. And I want to thank Jabba Chamberlain yesterday, former Yankee pitcher, because I had a chance to be part of a panel interviewing him yesterday, and he brought some great insights and perspective into this too. And as to, because he was asked what would be his pitch, right, to Yamamoto to get him to come to the Yankees, and he made some great points. Okay, and I agree with a lot of them, and I'll go into them too. All right, and it's great to have a former player's perspective who played with a lot of Japanese players with the Yankees. Taki Matsui, Ichiro, Hiroki Kuroda. He played with all of them. So he knows what it's like to not only play in the biggest stage, New York, but play with Japanese players who are highly touted, just like Yamamoto is. So he brings a different level of perspective, and I really, really, really appreciate that. Now, let's get into these teams, okay? You know, he's met with the Dodgers. He's met with the Giants. Okay, he's met with the Mets, and he's met with the Yankees. He's scheduled to meet with apparently the Blue Jays and the Red Sox moving forward. And we'll see what happens there. And we'll go over all these teams right now. I'm going to be looking down because I took notes. Okay, I want to make sure I make all the right points here. So, by the way, if you're not subbed to this channel, please do that right now before you leave. Okay, not only are you going to get the latest updated relevant news, but obviously when it comes to the Yankees, you'll get that as well, and you'll be at the front of the line to get it. So hit the notification button too. I thank you personally for it from the bottom of my heart. Okay, we are about 200 subs away from 20,000. We're really looking forward to passing that milestone before the end of the year. So your support is greatly appreciated. Okay, I love all of yous. Okay, this is why I love listening to your feedback on whether in live streams or to the comments. I try to respond to as many comments as I can because I learn from all of you. Okay. And as a content creator who has a growing channel, it's important, I think, to consider the different viewpoints. Okay. And at least in my opinion. At least in my opinion. I can't speak for everybody else. But let's get back to this. How can the Yankees seal the deal? Okay. Now, like I said, he's the big fish. So the market is pretty substantial. He's got a handful of suitors, maybe two handfuls of suitors, aggressive suitors who at the end of the day have resources. And the fact of the matter is, whoever signs him is probably going to overpay for him. And he's probably going to get one of the biggest contracts for a pitcher ever, and probably one of the longest, if not the longest. I mean, Garrett Cole signed for 9 years, $326 million. That could be pushed to 10 after 2024. He might get a 9 or 10-year deal too. That's just a reality. So, and teams need to be okay with that. Right. And with the Ohtani signing, let's talk about the Dodgers. With the Ohtani signing and the deferred money situation, they've cleared up a lot of resources for the Dodgers to add players. Okay. So that they can continue to compete. Okay. They even had the three-headed monster at their meeting with Yamamoto. Who's the three-headed monster? Ohtani, newly signed Dodger. He was there. Mookie Betts and Freddie Freeman. They were at the meeting with Yamamoto saying, hey, we're going to back you up every time you're on the mound. Okay, they got a three-headed monster there offensively, okay? And I have their lineup here, and I want to know what you think of their lineup, okay? I'm going to go over the Yankees lineup too. But the Dodgers, as it stands right now, let's just say Mookie Betts, Shohei Ohtani, Freddie Freeman. Then you have Will Smith, the catcher, Max Muncy, third base, Jason Hayward, the outfield, Chris Taylor, the outfield, James Outman, another outfielder, and Gavin Lux, versatile infielder. And maybe depending on whether they're pitching against lefties or righties, you might see Miguel Vargas in there. You might see Miguel Rojas in there, depending on who's going to be pitching against them. So you'll see some versatilities. As we talk about the Yankees, you got and this is no particular order. Alex Verdugo, Aaron Judge, Juan Soto, Gleyber Torres, Anthony Rizzo, Giancarlo Stanton, DJ LeMahieu, Austin Wells, and Anthony Volpe. And you have Trent Grisham, and you have Oscar Gonzalez, who they got from Cleveland Guardians, backing them up, okay? And an influx of young talent, just like the Dodgers do, waiting to get to the major leagues. So right now, as we stand, the Yankees lineup is deeper. Okay, you can go segments of 3, and you can have a contact hitter and a power bat in each segment of 3, with the additions of Soto and Verdugo and Grisham and some of these other guys. And I don't even know whether they're bringing Bellnger. We have no idea. The market for Bellnger, just like Blake Snell, it tends to be shrinking. So he could fall into the Yankees' laps for all we know. So this could change, and they could upgrade in the offense too. We don't know yet. Okay, but Yoshinobu Yamamoto is the key guy that the Yankees want now. We know this about the Dodgers, okay? The Giants met with him, who just recently signed Jung-Hoo Lee, okay? But they don't represent the big market. I'm not ruling them out to sign players, more players, but they don't represent the big stage that he wants, okay? And I think that's important. He pointed that out, okay? And beyond Lee, there's a lot of holes that they still need to fill, okay? He's met with the Mets, but how are you going to sell that? You know, that's the key. Like Steve Cohen's going to say, well, you know, we've got to rebuild our farm, and we're still probably 3 or 4 years away from potentially competing for a World Series. And we have the Braves to get past and the Phillies to get past. So 2 powerhouses in NL East. So that's a tougher selling pitch. But he's got the resources and the money. And if money talks, he'll be there at the end too. So we just don't know yet. We honestly don't know. And again, he's scheduled to meet with Boston and Toronto, but they have their address. They have their needs too. Boston needs pitching. Okay. And Toronto has a pretty good rotation. They might move Alek Manoah. We don't know. And they have a couple of they have a couple of star players there, but they also missed out on the big fish, Shohei Ohtani. So adding him to that rotation, I don't know. And they also have a big Japanese market, as does LA. So does New York. So there's benefits to each of these teams that he's meeting with. And again, I respect his wishes to want to go through all of his meetings, honor his commitments, and then make his decision, make an informed decision. That's his right to do. I do think a decision will not be made this week, maybe next week, at the very least before Christmas. So, and again, he has to make one before January 4th. Otherwise, he has to go back to Japan. He can't post him again for another year. So, you know, and again, talking to Jobber Chamberlain, he made some really, really good points. Number one, I would not lead if I'm the Yankees. I would not lead with, you know, our history, because as we stand right now, I mean, everybody knows the Yankees history, but we don't have much of a recent history. Kind of like the Dodgers, with the exception of 2020, the COVID season. The Dodgers won the World Series that year in the 60-game season, but before that, they hadn't won in 30 years. So they're at the top, or near the top every year, as the Yankees are for the most part. The Yankees haven't won one in 14 years. So, but there's a lot of similarities to what the Yankees did in 2009 right now. You know, they brought in CC Sabathia, who's the bulldog, who's there to back up and protect his players. We have that in Garrett Cole. If you join the Yankees rotation, you're going to be one of the best pitchers in the world, Garrett Cole. He's the vocal leader of this team. We have other leaders, Giancarlo Stanton, Anthony Rizzo, Aaron Judge, some of the best hitters, okay, who are great teammates, and an influx of young players. Austin Wells, Gleyber Torres, and lots of other guys that want to come up here as well. So we've got a lot of character here too, you know, and I like what they've done, not only with the hitting coach, but Aaron Boone to me is the Zen kind of laid back manager that the players really love. So, and they stood up for him. They brought in Brad Ausmus, who's come on, kind of brings the more fire, kind of that Larry Boa fire to counter people and to check people. And then you have Matt Blake, who has the ability to connect with pitchers of all kinds, and pitchers with translators. Okay, his communication skills, and Jabba pointed this out too yesterday. He emphasized the importance of having good communication skills. We have that, okay, and that's important, okay. And the Yankees have also reserved number 18 in your honor because we want you to come here. We want you to play with us. We want you to be a Yankee. We want you to, you know, have a career here, hopefully celebrate multiple championships down the Canada Heroes, okay? And we're putting the right pieces together in the lineup and in the rotation and in the bullpen, okay? To surround you with as much talent as possible. Because you said you wanted the biggest stage, right? Well, we want to give you the biggest stage. You're going to get paid no matter what, no matter where you goes, no matter where you go. But the Yankees are set up for a long time now. If we bring, once we re-sign Juan Soto for the long term, he'll be here with Aaron Judge, he'll be with Anthony Volpe, Austin Wells, a lot of players, and you'll be constantly surrounded by a lot of great players. Okay, and we have a rich history of Japanese players: Hiroki Kuroda, Masahiro Tanaka. Okay, Hideki Matsui, and we want you to be the next great Japanese player here. You're not going to play second fiddle to another Japanese player like you would in LA. You'll be the Japanese guy here. Okay. And we want you to join in on this rotation to help lead this team to a number of championships. And we love what you bring. We love the fire that you bring. We love your pitching arsenal. And we want you to be part of this. We want you to be a Yankee. Okay. And we're putting the right chess pieces together with on-base percentage and contact hitting. If you look at up and down our lineup, it's a heck of a lot deeper than the Dodgers lineup is right now. So we want you to surround you with, and even when you're sitting down and not pitching, we want to surround all the other pitchers with a lineup to protect them. Okay? And please come to the Yankees. I mean, please come. We really, and that's why we traveled out west, because we wanted to show, and that's why we had a rep at every one of your games this year in Japan. We went to Japan every single week in the entire season because we want you to know how important you were to us and how much we want you to come here and play with us. Okay? I can't think of any bigger gesture than that. I can't. So that's kind of what my approach would be, my perspective, my sales pitch in a way. Okay, you could tie in their history. You can tie in this. You can tie in that. There's so many more things you could tie in with the Yankees. Okay, and and as a fan, and even hearing from Jabba's word mouth himself, there's nothing more precious and valuable and touching to your heart than winning a damn championship in New York. I've been lucky, been to a couple of World Series clinching games. I've been to a David Cohn's perfect game. I was at Jim Abbott's no-hitter with my mom. So I was at David Cohn's perfect game with my mom too. So we went to a lot of special games. I was at Dwight Gooden's no-hitter. So, and a lot of clinching games. I was at the home run derby in the old Yankee Stadium when Josh Hamilton lit the place on fire with his home runs. Like, and there's nothing better, in my opinion. There was nothing louder I've ever heard than the old Yankee Stadium. The new Yankee Stadium is that while paying homage to the old stadium, and it looks like a museum with the only team that has a monument park too. So there's so many different ways and approaches you can sell Yamamoto on wanting to come here, but we've done the groundwork to show you how much you mean to us. Okay. And the fans will speak, and you're not gonna see a better, more dialed in and more passionate, more knowledgeable fan base than here in the Bronx. Okay. That is gonna have your back. That'll push you to be the best, like they push everybody else, players and coaches and owners. You're not gonna see that anywhere else like you will be in the Bronx. And you're gonna get one of the best food, amongst the best food and culture in America and some in the world. So if you like food, you're gonna get great food here. You like culture, you're gonna get great culture here. You like a great fan base, you want the biggest stage, you have it right here in the Bronx. So Yankees, please try to get him in the Bronx. Try to get all hands on deck to get him here. Make him become a New York Yankee. Give everybody a Merry Christmas and a Happy Holidays. So that's what I'm thinking. Let me know what you're thinking, right, gang? Load up the comments, okay? And give me your feedback. And if you're not subbed to the channel, would greatly, greatly appreciate if you did. So, and I don't want you to miss anything either. So Have a great day, everybody. Stay warm. Talk to you next time.